YouTubers and anyone else watching this. Well, why is this video called an announcement? Well, I've had an idea. This year I'll be 45, which means in 5 years' time, in the year 2020, I'll be the rather landmark age of 50 years old. And I thought, well, what can I do? What lunatic scheme can I come up with that would be a good idea to mark this landmark year of my life? And, well, I came up with something. I thought, let's have a project. Let's have something I can spread out over the whole of that year, and is not something that there's a massive rush to do, but ideally I could possibly finish on my birthday, December the 19th. Oh, right, let's get to the point. Now, I don't live in London, but I visit London a lot, and over the years have enjoyed exploring it and learning about it, and as I don't drive, I go pretty damn near much everywhere by the London Underground. So I thought, what would be an interesting and fun challenge to do with the London Underground? Well, there are people, I call them lunatics, or somewhat silly people, who set themselves the challenge of trying to get to every tube station in one day. I thought, why? Is there any point in that whatsoever, when I could do exactly the same thing, spread it out over several months? So, there is, in wonderful A4, a map of the London Underground. And bear in mind, we are at the rudimentary planning stages of this project at the moment, so certain thoughts came to mind, such as, how many lines are there on the London Underground? Well, give or take one or two, there's 12. So you could do one a month, but it gets complicated then, because some of them aren't open every day of the week, and have certain restrictive hours as to when they are open. So, the approach I'm taking is that in any given year, I tend to have about 5 weeks holiday, 5 weeks leave from work, which is spread out quite widely between Easter, which would either fall in March or April, right through to having over a week off for Christmas in December. So you could quite easily spread the whole task out and do 2 or 3 tube lines per week off, and spread the whole thing out over the year. Haven't actually decided what order to do things in. Once you start studying the map, certain facts do come to mind, and that's that there's one very short tube line. Our good friend here, if I can point to it, yes, there it is. It's known as the Waterloo and City line. Starts, however, if you want to take starters north, starts at Bank, north of the River Thames, and then ends at Waterloo, south of the River Thames, and that's the only places it goes to. And it has quite long opening hours of 6:15 in the morning to 9:30 at night throughout the week. So that would be certainly an easy starting point. And the other thing I notice when I look at the map is another relatively short line is fiddly to show, but over here we have the East London line, which starts at Shoreditch and ends at places like New Cross. I'm not entirely sure whether that is underground or overground. I am assuming though, that it's underground, because London Overground tends to get listed separately on the map. But as I say, it's early days yet. It's very early days with this idea. And I thought, well, what should I call this? Because the idea is to film it, to have probably this camera I'm using right now on me, which has the advantage of the fact that it does have an extended life battery pack, so I can keep it going for about 10 hours. So if I am stuck doing one of these really long tube lines, hopefully I will not run out of battery power. I do have spare cameras I can fall back on though. But yeah, so I thought, well, what do I call this project? You want something short and snappy. So I'll give you what my worst idea is and what my best idea was. I thought, well, short, snappy, we could go for Tim's Underground Challenge. No, I think not. See, in this country we have something called the TUC, the Trades Union Congress. Just looks wrong. Tuck. So instead, I went to music for my inspiration. Those of us from my generation will remember that there was a band back in the late 70s, early 80s called The Jam. So instead, I proposed the following title for this project: Tim's Going Underground. Because, well, I will be for quite a long time. So, yeah, that's the idea. And that's the announcement. And there's not a huge amount to add at this time, only having announced this earlier in the week via Facebook. Somebody did say, well, what you could do before then is visit some of the tube stations that are no more. And I said to this person, been looking at my bookshelves. So I own this rather nice little book that I have yet to get round to reading, called Do Not Alight Here by Ben Pedroche, and it is wonderfully detailed book containing lots of high quality colour photographs of disused tube stations, some of which are quite substantial, others there's barely anything left at all. There's like a building which is now being used for something else. Sometimes being used for nothing at all, and sometimes, like this former Down Street tube station, is now retail premises. But what Ben, who wrote this, has done that's rather nice for most of this book is he's constructed a series of walks where you can start at a particular tube station. For example, this one, walk 2, starts at Goodge Street on the Northern Line and then ends at King's Cross, which is also on the Northern Line, but it's also on various other lines. And he has photographs of what you'll see on the way, and well, looks like a very interesting activity, and I may do that, or even just start doing that and do a series of them later this year, probably June, as I have a week off in June, and half of that week off, or part of that week off I should say, I'll be visiting Glasgow for the first time to see some real life police boxes, as that's effectively the capital of the police boxes, or the remaining ones. So a good partner to that week would be to have a bit of a walk round London and discover a few old tube stations. So stay tuned, because that will be a video in and of itself. So goodbye for now.